All right, guys, wanted to do this too for you. So I've had the Truhart control arms on my wife's CRV. Well, both our CRVs, but primarily she drove it because it's automatic. She doesn't want to drive a standard right now at the moment. And excuse me, sorry. Not breathing so well because the lung issue stuff I've explained in other videos is flaring up. So if I'm like gasping for air in this video, I apologize. So I've had the Truhart control arms on there when it was lifted, just on the old man emu springs. I want to say I put them on either end of 2017, beginning of 2018. I can't remember. But I've had those Truhart control arms with their ball joints on it lifted with the old man emu springs, which is about 1.5 inches in the front, inch in the rear, I think, or 2 inches in the rear. I can't remember the exact measurements, but you guys have all seen it. If you look at my Instagram or seen other CRVs with them. We drove from South Dakota drove it all the way to, from Florida, the Panhandle, to South Dakota. Drove fine, did find that was why it was lifted, drove it around here for about another year while it was lifted, and then for better gas mileage, just to have fun, I was like, screw it, let's lower it and see if it's easier. This is why I was figuring out the axle stuff, and a lot of work that I am doing to this now needed to be done. So I was like, why not? We'll try the max speeding rod coilovers. They're cheap for coilovers, and let's see how it looks and rides. So they dealt with being lowered. Not only did they deal with hours upon hours of off-roading in Florida, we did a lot of going out through the mud, a lot of trailing, a lot of going through a lot of hills. I mean, I actually drove over down trees, pretty big trees, with that CRV. And I wish I had some videos of that because that was awesome. I really can't tell you how much more fun they are lifted than lowered. I will straight up say that. I had a lot more fun with it being lifted. Hence why this one's going back to lifted, among other reasons. But with these, I just want to say, because I was getting off point, is they have lasted. I mean, through all this abuse. The South Dakota winters are not nice around here. They are really rough. You guys have probably seen videos of me doing donuts with it on ice, crawling through tons of snow, salt, up hills, down, towing cars. I've towed cars with that thing, no joke. And these ball joints have lasted. And the only reason why I replaced them is because I'm relifting them. And I mean, they're still moving around decent. Don't get me wrong, the boots are starting to get old and stuff. And of course, I was taking them apart off and on quite a bit. But yeah, so since 2017, 2018, it is now, May 2020? And I'm just now replacing them after a lot of abuse. I mean, you can see the Truhart plates here. Got some rust on them and stuff, and things you could clean them up a little bit better. But when you order new ball joints for them, you get new plates. So that's nice, and new bolts. So I want to show you guys here. They're about $40 a piece, which is totally worth it. And I've showed on here before, but I just want to do it again since I'm talking about it. There's your new bolts. Oh, shoot. One fell out of the bottom of the bag there. There's your new bolts. New ball joint. New nut. I even think it may not come with a new cotter pin. That's the only thing I might need to get. And, of course, your new camber plate, Truhart plate. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to give them a shout out. Like I said, their coilovers have kind of left me yearning for something more. But I did talk to them too, and I'll do a video on that about adjust. Apparently their coilovers the spring doesn't come preloaded. That's something that's a miscommunication, I guess. People, I just heard and thought, and I apologize because I probably should have 100% confirmed that. So that's probably why mine's a little bit bouncy. The preload is just too much. And that's something that Jacob had told me to look into too. And if you guys haven't checked out his channel is he explains more about the camber arms. He'll explain about flipping them pretty good too. And so I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew you can trust these things. You can trust these things as long as you install them right and you do a good job and you're not screwing up on your end. They build these damn camber arms good, and the ball joints. I've had a lot. I have to say they're even better than. I've had Skunk 2. I've had and I can't remember Buddy Club, the white ones. They make them white. I've had Buddy Club, which don't get me wrong, those are all good too. I didn't have problems with Skunk 2 or Buddy Club, or even some of the eBay brands that were just no name. I didn't have that much trouble with. But these are just like solid. I don't know how to explain how well they make them. Hopefully, and I think there's enough of you guys out there in the RD1 family that have, can testify this. They're built solid. I really wish Truhart would make more parts for our car because they seem to, whoever they go through to make the parts, and they know what they're doing. And their customer service it just gets better every time I call, which I'm really happy about that. In the beginning it was kind of so. It was like the communication and the lifted Honda scene. I think they were just shocked. They weren't like really thought it was going to take off. And now every time I call, it's just better and better. The parts get out quick as hell. They're kind. They get the invoices right to me. So I can't say enough about them, but I want to do a little testament about it. What's that? Almost 3 years. Yeah, depending, because I can't remember the exact date I put them on. But yeah, 3 years of torment. It's not like I just did road driving every single day. We went through rough winters. In fact, the first winter we moved back here was one of the roughest winters I think they've had in 30 years, they said. At least a lot of the locals and stuff told me around here. Made them through fine. I never had a thought or scared that my ball joint was going to break or my camber arm was going to bend. Or in fact, when I pulled them off, to let you guys know, the bushings, and you could replace these with energy suspension bushings or something else down the road if you needed to, but the bushings were just as strong and looked just as good as the day I bought them. They didn't look dry rotted, molded wrong, bent wrong, popping out, squeaking. Very solid product, guys. And that's all I want to say, because I can keep going on about the same thing, but a very solid product. You'll be happy with what you get. All right, have a good one.